47 seconds of logos. Philosophical reading.
50 years ago,
Enduration.
it was only through the sacrifice of our greatest commander that we avoided total annihilation.
It was forever known as the Randy Quaid maneuver. Also, his one ship crashed into that ship and the battle was over? If it's not that, it's water or germs. We really underestimate aliens that have conquered space travel, don't we?
I am one of those recruits.
Awesome, because if you're not, we're talking about a really short movie.
I tell you, he's the one.
Having the one.
You miscalculated your trajectory relative to the incoming asteroid.
Don't lecture me, Wiggin.
We were told just a minute ago that this program recruits the smartest children. So what did they see in this typical cliche movie bully? If the plastics show up in this thing, I'm out.
This won't hurt a bit.
What is the end game, or Ender's game, of telling him it won't hurt when it clearly will? I know they want to see how he'll respond to getting kicked out of the program, but lying to him about the pain of this procedure?
Come on.
Get him in there!
We find out in a minute that the two bosses are watching this all go down and not stopping it, even though someone definitely could have been killed.
He's got no monitor now.
That's right. No one watching you now.
But presumably you bully dicks all still have monitors, which means someone's watching you, right? I thought you had to be smart to get into this school. Ender will get in trouble for this, but he shouldn't. He should get a fucking medal.
You mean the mom and dad spent all that money on a third? And now he's off the program too?
I've read the book, so I know that third has derogatory connotations, probably to the point that polite society calls it the T word, but I'll be damned if this movie ever explains it.
Let me in!
I mean, if she really wanted to stop what was happening, couldn't she have just broken one or more of those panes of glass in the door? Also, this movie's been going for 7 minutes and it's made up of 80% ass beatings so far.
Sensor alert. Front door. Please state your name.
You mean they couldn't call first?
Final step in our evaluation is always to see what happens when the monitor is removed.
Okay, she should finish this by saying, with admiration, "And you, son, nearly kicked a guy to death."
That's not what he did. It's why he did it. It was tactical. A strategy to stop future attacks.
So you must have been really certain that the bullies would confront him afterward in order to get that information, huh? You've got, what, a few hours to make that determination before he goes home and you can't monitor him anymore? Also, it's almost like Harrison Ford took his Brent Rickey character from 42 and just continued it here. He wants the guy who's got the guts not to fight back.
Join the others.
Why the fuck is he the last person on board this ship? It's not like they recruited him while all these other fuckers were waiting, right?
You're late. Out of my control.
This is the most egregious example thus far of the "you're late" problem in Hollywood screenplays. There's no authority relationship between these two, and literally no consequence for the tardiness. Just mindless chatter to fill time.
Ender? What kind of name is that?
Look, what's your name?
Name's Bean.
Your fucking name is Bean, and you had the audacity to mock another person's name? Fuck you, Bean, you fucking dick. God, you suck. This society has solar panel launch rockets and genetic prediction abilities, so other than zero gravity, why would the battle school need to actually take place in space? Why can't you train these fools on Earth and even simulate zero gravity with your future technology and shit? Anti-gravity vomit. Anti-gravi vomit?
There's only one kid on this launch with any brains at all so far, and that's Ender Wiggin.
This is what the military refers to as painting the target.
His isolation can never be broken. He must never believe anyone will help him.
What? Why does your Neo commander need to be isolated? You are literally guessing, but passing it off as fact, considering you've never done what you're trying to do.
Oh, look. It's a smartass.
While I understand that they're reacting this way because Harrison Ford singled him out, don't all these kids know the pain of being bullied because of their intellect? Weren't they challenged much like he was? Don't they know everything is a test at this point?
Thought I'd have to ask to be by the door.
Speak your name.
Ender Wiggin.
So they left him this last bunk by the door, but somehow saying his name into the voice print thing at this bunk unlocks it and shit, and all the shit inside the locker's gonna fit him perfectly?
But if you're looking for a shoulder to cry on, use a pillow. Do I look like I'm joking snaps?
Weren't all these assholes already in some sort of military academy before they made it here? This isn't fucking boot camp. They know better.
If you are found in an area not designated to your gender, I will personally neuter you.
North Carolina.
Welcome to battle school. A great responsibility rests upon each of you.
And it comes with great power. Oh, wait, I fucked it up, didn't I? Kids in battle school are subjected to the beginning of Ender's Game. Also, is this video of the guy who blew himself up edited like a Hollywood movie? Did they find feeds from everywhere like the people who made Chronicle did?
Let's move it, launchies. You've got 10 minutes.
10 minutes is barely enough time to even wake up. I know this is some kind of military or whatever, but the entire movie, they keep waking people up 10 minutes before important shit. Why build 90% of a face shield? If you're going to go to 90%, why stop there? Do you need to let in air? If you're going to leave part of it open, presumably for air, why not just shield the eyes and call it a day?
I like it. Like they're a bug to be crushed under our feet.
I just realized this movie is a lot like Starship Troopers, or that Starship Troopers is a lot like this book, or something. I'm not sure there's a sin here, but I'll add one just to be sure.
This is amazing. I can't move at all now.
Sounds dope.
You're flapping around like a bunch of drunken ducks. Sergeant, Explain the game.
Yeah, let's insult your recruits before you ever give them any idea what the was going on.
You get 1 point for a hit to a limb, 6 for a torso hit.
And this game will somehow prepare you to pilot massive space warships against other massive warships. Just go with it. And yes, I know they're looking at leadership and tactics, but still, tons of easier ways to observe that kind of shit.
If either side gets 1 cadet through their enemy's gate, unharmed, that army will win, regardless of points already scored.
So it's like the snitch in Quidditch, and it makes everything else you do essentially worthless. Great game.
Dear Valentine, so this is battle school.
Email ration.
And no one ever adequately explains how Mazarekum actually defeated the entire fleet.
Ender would be amazing at CinemaSins, and it's kind of crazy that this incomplete story got this much traction over the years without a great many people questioning it. Wait a minute, didn't Ender make a buddy when they were in the anti-gravity chamber a minute ago? Is this a thing? Nerds who shun other nerds?
Is our email being blocked?
All communication is being temporarily held back.
This seems like something they would have been told, like, the first day. What benefit is there not to tell them? I feel like this scene was put in so that Harrison Ford could get his mandatory I'm surly scene in and fulfill his contract.
You will never be a commander. I will never salute you.
Push-up shadowing. Push shadowing?
We have only 3 passing scores on the deep space navigation test. Now, the problem was simple.
I'm confused as to how these other smart kids got into the program if they couldn't solve this simple problem. If getting through the first leg of the training is so difficult to get into battle school, how do only 3 people pass this test? I mean, seriously. This is the type of thing that threatens an entire movie's credibility, when dicks like this can get into an elite school that the movie has tried so hard to tell us is impossible to get into.
Gravitational braking.
Who sent this?
I love how this classroom apparently has a class-wide anonymized chat application running on all these computers. It's working! Their plan to make Ender into a leader by berating him, punishing him, and blocking his emails to home is working! Yay! Everyone likes Ender now, and the shunning is still cool!
Welcome to Games and Recreation.
Jesus, don't they have headphones at Battle School? Holy Christ, that's horrifying! Why would a game developer, in a game where your actions are supposedly to choose one of 2 cups, even program in a combination of buttons to allow this? Was there no option just to eat the cheese? I'm sorry, but you can't play baseball like this. Any kind of well-struck ball will hit the ceiling immediately. And later we find out the battle room is open 24/7. Why not play this game in the awesome anti-gravity chamber, since nobody who runs the ship gives a shit what you do with your free time. Also, Bonzo must have thrown quite the fastball for Dink to be this late on it and hit it straight to Ender, who's constantly making dramatic entrances in this movie.
From a quick study.
Let me be clear. I intend to trade you ASAP.
Trade? The way this training center inadvertently creates some kind of sports league is baffling. He's in charge of a squad, even though he's still just a cadet. But he can, as a cadet, immediately trade away another cadet the boss is personally assigned to his squad? Is this like a sign and trade kind of deal here? Is he worried about the salary cap? Fucking how did Ender's custom team uniform make it here before he did? He played the game, they decided to promote him, and he walked straight here. The uniform department in this place deserves a fucking raise for how on top of shit they are. Why does she even do this? Like, yeah, maybe she's just trying to be nice to the newbie, or she likes him. But since Bonzo told him to do nothing when they get into the chamber, what good is this practice? Does she know Ender's gonna be the special that defeats Lord Business?
You don't practice with her. In fact, you don't practice at all.
I realize you need antagonists in a movie, but this guy's bully boner is absurdly big. It's the Dirk Diggler of bully boners.
Wake up, mis pendejos! Battle with Leopard in 10 minutes!
What the 10 minutes? Salamanders #1! Look, I'll grant the fact that salamanders are predatory animals, but they don't exactly strike fear into me when I hear their name. Are you telling me this hyper-violent society that fosters violent cadets is going to end up on Salamander for a fucking mascot? The movie will send this for us, but what an extraordinarily stupid maneuver this is. I mean, your solution is to make one big target, where the opposing team doesn't have to be all that accurate when they shoot. I mean, this movie isn't beloved or anything, but it's stuff like this that made it passable. I'd take action scenes this clever using actual thought and tactics over 99% of the action scenes I see in movies today. But also, one session with a girl and suddenly he's spinning spacesuit Jesus with the gunplay. Also, this Salamander team was like 22-0. The only reason they're losing right now is to give Ender a reason to show off. And the only reason the movie gave them an unbelievably perfect winning record is to somewhat justify the bully boner. Wait, he was watching the action that closely from there? He can't see anything from there. Why not use video monitors instead of glass windows really far away? Could she want him anymore? Somehow allowed to happen by all the adults in this place who spy on everyone all the time with cameras. I'm getting a little tired of how intentionally ignorant these adults are with the bullying that goes on at this academy.
Valentine?
She doesn't look anything like Abigail Breslin. Video game substitutes for a dream sequence, where we're sure to see Voldemort at some point. Yep, confirmed.
How did his psycho brother end up in the game?
He's obviously feeling some psychological pressure.
The only reason the game is doing this, as we later learn, is because the stupid aliens are trying to use telepathy to communicate with him. A video game doing this is impossible. So the sin for this is that she casually chalks it up to psychological pressure instead of a goddamn miracle of software.
Highest battle room ratings.
We've only seen him in the battle room for official matches once. We have, however, spent a lot of time on a stupid video game where a White Walker makes him drink poison and his brother is still a dick.
But you have a habit of upsetting your commander.
His commander actually has a habit of being a douche.
Dragon Army.
Sir, I've never heard of a dragon army.
We discontinued the name 4 years ago. No dragon army ever won a battle.
I mean, did you ever give those uniforms to anyone who could win a battle? Is it because you're superstitious about Dragon Army, or because you never put people in those uniforms who could succeed? You know, the Red Sox and Cubs operated just like this for 86 and 108 years before they realized there was no curse, just teams that weren't capable of winning.
Then why not a new name, sir?
Because we already have the uniforms.
F you, Harrison Ford's character whose name I refuse to learn. F you! Those uniforms cannot possibly fit everyone on whatever team you're putting together. Stop trying to cover up the fact that this facility has the fastest and most capable seamstresses alive operating under a dark shroud of secrecy.
I can't be expected to do all the thinking in this army, can I, Bean?
Wow, isn't that amazing? These misfits they gave Ender just happen to be people he knew from his training squad. Like, his best friends even.
Bulls. You alright? I twisted my ankle.
Ah well, whatever gets Haley Steinfeld on my team is a good thing. But, like, hope that ankle is okay. Jeez, look like that hurt. You know, if you give Ender a shade on this window, he doesn't have to get woken up by moonlight and sunlight every 45 minutes.
Let's see how they handle the formation.
What kind of logic is that? This is your very first game as Dragon Army, right? They don't know what to expect at all. But surely they think you know some formations, since that's part of the game, right?
We should storm him and crush him.
Nah, we hold our positions. He has to come to us.
Not according to the rules of the game. It's a point-based game unless someone breaches the other side's gate. Otherwise, it's points based on leg shots and torso shots. I was paying attention, and his team has shot 12 of your soldiers and you've shot 1 of his. Ender wins on points. With all these kids getting hit at once and becoming immobile, would they still be able to hold their positions in this formation? Salamander won 22 f***ing matches in a row, and after this one match, Dragon goes to first place. Why were they even in second place? Did the movie cut all the times that they played before this? I mean, yeah, we saw them briefly training a few minutes ago, I guess. But were they in actual competitions? I'm not saying put cameras in the showers. I'm just saying this facility has live feed video surveillance of its cadets, but somehow lets every single bullying and beating occur with zero interference.
My father trained horses. I've raised yearlings since I was 5 years old. I know a thoroughbred.
Because kids and horses are so similar.
I've had a lot of fights, Val.
And that's just in the last hour.
Your training begins first thing tomorrow morning.
I'm confused as to what we've been doing so far.
Sergeant Dapp will show you to your quarters.
Because he's the guy you and the viewing audience are familiar with. He's really the only guy we have to do whatever job he does. Ah, Gandhi!
Sir, I've already seen this. I want to know what happens after.
Oh, come on, Ender. You're a smart kid. You know Mazer Rackham didn't drag you into the video room to show you the same f***ing video. This is the director's cut.
After the explosion cleared, everything was incredibly still.
And I wrote the script to Independence Day on the way down.
And then they started falling out of the sky.
Luckily, I was nowhere near any of the thousands of ships that should have crashed into me like a bad Dave Matthews Band concert.
What animals are the Formix most often compared?
Ants.
Which have
A queen.
So the aliens are hive-minded, and that's why all of them died after Mazer killed the queen. It seems like a species this advanced wouldn't have such a glaring weakness in their defense, but that's how you make killing aliens when you should have no chance in hell easy.
the MD-500, which Petra is trained to fire.
F***ing what? When did she get trained to do that? That seems like a healthy coincidence to me.
Deploy all drones. Give me 4 hyperbolic formations with 90-degree offsets.
Okay, since when do all these people know all there is to know about this simulation? The last we saw Ender, he was conquering a futuristic version of laser tag and learning basic military strategies. But now, at the drop of a hat, he and his buddies know all the capabilities of this thing? Maybe I missed a training montage.
How can they be effective if they don't get any sleep?
Sleep deprivation is part of your training.
I'm not sure that actually answers the question, though.
One more simulation, and I may have to go to war. What happens when it's no longer a game? Real war is different.
Or is it? Dun dun dun!
What if they could talk to us?
They can't.
Pocket Haley Steinfeld.
This boy has the empathy to think like a Formic.
Nothing he's done so far demonstrates this, but whatever, suddenly rapidly approaching the climax movie.
Easy, sir. It's graduation day.
Why would you wake up your most valued recruits in this way? Why not just give them a time and let them set an alarm? What is it with this movie and waking people up moments before important events? Well, that happened. I have no idea what it was, but it happened.
He's abandoning his entire fleet.
He's in command. There's no stopping him now.
Considering the reveal we're about to get, it's absolutely stunning that the people in charge don't tackle Ender during this maneuver. This is gambling the entire fleet, something that they know but Ender doesn't know. Also, is there any indication as to why they needed kids to do this? And even if they believe kids were better suited because of their video game capabilities or whatever, why were there restrictions on having a third child? Seems like a society that goes all in on children running the military would ask parents to have as many children as possible. Harrison Ford, Ben Kingsley, a screenshot from the core!
With this victory, you've won all future battles.
You destroyed them.
See, here's where the movie fails. If one has read the book and knows how the story ends, then the entire movie is a lie, and one knows it, and it can't help but keep one from truly experiencing and enjoying the ride. It's the rare example where a book's twist is so great that the movie ends up being pretty much made solely for the people who never read the book. But that being said, it's a great f***ing reveal. This should stand as one of the greatest reveals no matter the medium, so we will remove 5 cents.
The Formix access the game through me. Their thoughts, my dreams, all mixed together.
Yeah, but why? I know Ender is special, but there's no reason to think they knew about him. And they never tried it with other candidates because Viola Davis told us those images had never shown up in the game before. And if they were trying to communicate, why did they do it with a mix of dreamy imagery to the point that he couldn't discern a real message? Okay, maybe it was a first try and they needed to iron out the kinks. And then the asshole humans deleted the game before Ender could go further. Seems like telepathic communication should work without a confusing video game mixing up the message.
I'll find a new home.
A Formic queen stayed behind on this planet after all the other Formics retreated to another planet, and managed to live long enough to keep a future queen and the survival of the species intact, and luckily discovered a child who could interpret the video game sequence as communication. Deus Ex Formica!
Only through the sacrifice of our greatest commander that we avoided total annihilation.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
He chose poorly.
You alright? I twisted my ankle.
Did you wrench it? Did you jam it? Maybe you squeezed it, turned it?
What's wrong with this country, Marty? Money. You taught me that. Evil defense contractors had it, noble causes did not. Politicians are bought and sold like so much chattel. Our problems multiply.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I think you're gonna find yourself one smiling mother.
Walking a mile, walking a mile, walking the green mile.
I'm coming up with 32.33, repeating of course, percentage of survival.
Well, that's a lot better than we usually do.
Alright, thumbs up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
The Genesis effect. Matter is reorganized with life-generating results.